Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Straight to DVD, where we only review movies that didn't go to the box office but still caught our attention. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first movie I want to get into is Kings, which is starring Halle Berry and Daniel Cage. Now, you obviously know Halle Berry from her career and different movies. The latest movie that we've seen that was actually a theater hit was Kidnapped. Daniel Craig, you know from a lot of the 007, the recent 007 movies that are in theaters and out of theaters and do ups and downs, which I thought is very interesting. You take Halle Berry, who was with the past 007, and put her in a movie with the new 007, but it's not 007 movie. This movie is based in South Central LA about the 1992 Rodney King trial. Halle Berry has taken upon herself to adopt several different children and in hopes to have her family herself. Now, in the first half of the movie, you get to start to know Halle Berry and her interaction with these foster children. Now, Halle Berry has a son. It's actually played by a new face to me, Lamar Johnson. I haven't seen him in anything recently, but his character, man, he's basically taken upon himself to play the dad's role in this whole fiasco of children. I mean, she has a lot of kids. She has so many kids, it's almost like the woman in the shoe who didn't know what to do. She has so many kids, she didn't know what to do. She's basically like a hoarder for children. She's like a child hoarder. Don't get that confused with kidnapping or trafficking, human trafficking. She's a child hoarder. That means she wants to do it for fun, and we probably appreciate it. These kids, they're so young, and he has to take on those responsibilities, and he's trying to figure out his own life. Meanwhile, she leaves, and she's out of the picture for most of the time. She's mostly out of the picture, just like how most people's parents are. You didn't really get to see them. In the process of that, those kids are always running amok. Now, Daniel Craig's character, man, he just seems like to be a white guy in the wrong neighborhood. But in the process, he lives right across the street from Halle Berry, and him and Halle Berry continuously get into it, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, as they rightfully should, because she is just letting these freaking kids be everywhere. His character is a very interesting character, man, because he actually shows that he has some heart in the process of dealing with all the stuff that's going on. Now, obviously, the police are coming after him, too, because he's drunk and he is doing drunk people stuff. Now, in this very first half of the movie, Halle Berry has to give up one of the children. She has to give up one of the children, which to me, I would think, hey, that's a less mouth to feed. But in the process, she finds another child. It's like this lady just doesn't get the fact that you have too many kids in the house already, and there is no father in that house, and you just continuously keep bringing people in. And the only person that's really frustrated with this is Lamar Johnson. He's the one who's very frustrated with it, because he's like, I thought, hey, come on, I thought you said no more kids, man. What are you doing? And she's always trying to find a reason to take these kids in. Now, the kid that she actually takes in is played by Callan Walker. Hope I said that right. Callan Walker. Now, Callan Walker's character, man, if you don't know, he played in the movie Superfly. He was just recently in that movie. But Callan Walker, man, his character, man, he was that very radical-ish character that, you know, some people most likely in this particular situation would love. He's almost like the Killmonger to this situation. She takes him in, and he is just teaching the kids all the wrong things to do. I mean, they're literally, and the kids love them. The kids are just kids, you know, the little kids, they're just running around. They don't even care. They don't even understand half of the stuff that's actually going on. Meanwhile, in the process of this one, Lamar Johnson is trying to still figure out all this stuff of what to do. Now, halfway in the movie, Lamar actually runs into a character that's played by Rochelle Hilson. She plays as a radical girl who is just out there living her own dreams. I know y'all probably saw that pen. Living her own life, living her own style. She doesn't really care about anything that is affecting her. You know, she's just kind of just like a runaway, more like a throwaway. But she is just living her life. She's radical, man. She really played her scene, man. I honestly say that she was the best person in this movie outside of looking at Callan Walker's part. I hope I said that right. The third half of the movie, that's when it picks up, because this is right when things are tension up, you're getting right down to the end of the case, and you start to find out what is the verdict. And oh my gosh, shit gets crazy. Now, in the process of this, once you find out the verdict, guess what? Halle Berry's character is not at home. And she's trying to find her kids. She's losing them, she's finding them, she's losing them, she's finding them. Literally pass on a couple of these kids. It's like having a bunch of puppies. Like if you just have a bunch of puppies running around your house, they're just going to ruin things because they don't know. Police, man, these guys are crazy. I mean, they're locking up people, chaining up people, throwing them in the cars, just pointing. They're just literally pointing the gun at whoever is doing anything. Honestly, let's just be honest here. With this shit all going on, I'm pretty sure if I was a police officer, I would be pretty freaking nervous. And I'm not saying that these police officers were all good, but just think about it. When you have bad police officers doing bad things, when the good police officers are just trying to live an honest living, and the society only sees the bad police officers, what do you think is going to happen? Those regular people who only see the bad police officers that's marketed to them are going to do what? They're going to go right after the police officer that's good. And those police officers are going to be freaked out because their life is on the line every single time. This last part of the movie, it is zonkers. Literally rioting, knocking over stuff. People are getting killed, murdered, shot. This is like honestly watching the first Purge movie. If anything, this is like watching the first Purge movie. If you ever ask yourself, what would the Purge look like in real life? Rodney King riots. These things have really actually taken place in real life. These are nothing new, but it actually has taken place. And it really did get, at some particular points, it just started to get crazy. And literally, at a certain point of the end of this movie, there becomes literally some James Bond shit that happens. Literally, James Bond stuff happens. But there is a lot of things that I really necessarily don't like. I don't like that it's kind of a slow burn at times, and you're kind of watching this character and you see what's going to happen. And sometimes things become really predictable, and other times it's like, you guys are kind of going too far. And at the very end of the movie, that kind of hit me too, because it kind of leaves you like, okay, well, they made it through the night. It didn't feel like it was a really long movie, but I kind of felt like you could have added maybe another 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes onto the end to just explain a little bit more of how the family got through this and what that's going to look like for the neighborhood. And they really didn't do that. It just kind of just makes you leave you kind of blank, like, oh man, this happened. It was just one day and there's nothing else that's going to happen after this. In the end, I'm going to say that this movie is going to be on my bookshelf. Yep, I'm gonna get this movie, and it's going on my DVD shelf. So, Kings, what did you think about this movie? Hey, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let's get into it. Did you really like it? Did you really hate it? Were you there in 1992? Did you see the Rodney King riot? Is there any other riots that was very similar to this? What other movies were better than this? If you like this content, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.